Queen Elizabeth II, UK's longest-serving monarch, has died at Balmoral, aged 96, after reigning for 70 years. Her family gathered at her Scottish estate after concerns grew about her health earlier today. The Queen came to the throne in 1952 and witnessed enormous social change. This is live at the Buckingham Palace, where the notice is being put at the gates of Buckingham Palace, announcing the Queen's death. Now, in a statement, Buckingham Palace said the Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and Queen consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow. All the Queen's children travelled to Balmoral near Aberdeen after doctors placed the Queen under medical supervision. Well, Charles succeeds immediately as king per tradition. Again, Charles succeeds as king of Britain as tradition. Let's talk more about this latest development. We are now being joined by Andrew Whitehead from London. He is a historian, author, as well as a senior journalist. Welcome to WION. Probably you can tell us the latest unfolding in Britain. This is London Bridge is down. We are saying the Queen has died. What happens now?
That's right. It's a very sad and sombre day here in London. We had, of course, some warning of the seriousness of her illness earlier in the day when Buckingham Palace took the hugely unusual step of announcing that doctors had concern for the Queen's health, and then we were told that Prince Charles, now King Charles, was at Balmoral Castle with his mother, and then a couple of hours ago we saw footage of other children of the Queen and Prince William making their way to Balmoral. We don't know whether they managed to get there before the Queen died, and then Buckingham Palace just a few minutes ago issued a statement saying the Queen died peacefully in Balmoral this afternoon. The King and the Queen consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will then return to London tomorrow. And of course, this reference to the King, King Charles III, and the Queen consort, Camilla, is a reminder and a statement that the royalty, the royal house, the monarchy will continue in spite of the sad death of the Queen. We don't know exactly what will happen now. I think the supposition is that the Queen's body will remain at Balmoral and may well then be driven down in a day or two's time to the Scottish capital, Edinburgh, and may well lie in state there for a day or two before coming to London, where again it is expected to lie in state, with a funeral perhaps a week or 10 days away, but we have no confirmation of this. The plans, though, are well advanced. The Queen was 96, and I think we'll have an announcement quite soon about the timetable for the future.
Andrew, let me ask about what is happening at Buckingham Palace right now. There's the flag that is flying at half-mast. Probably you can tell us the significance of that. Was that a sign?
Yes, so that would have been just brought down at half-mast when the announcement was made, which was just at the top of the hour. We're talking about minutes ago. BBC has been playing the national anthem, which it is always expected to do when a reigning monarch dies, though of course this is the first time this has happened for more than 70 years. There were already small crowds gathering at Buckingham Palace. There would have been much bigger if the Queen had been in residence, but there were small crowds gathering there because that of course is such a focus of the British monarchy. And I think it's almost certain that much larger crowds will gather at Buckingham Palace and perhaps outside Balmoral as well to express their great sadness and their respect for the dead monarch.
Andrew, sticking to Buckingham Palace, there is an announcement that has been placed at the gates. This is usually a tradition. Probably you can tell us the significance of that and why the monarch does this.
So this is a part of the royal routine. The monarchy is a very traditional institution, and for any major announcement, still to this day, it is announced in a whole range of ways, including, of course, on Twitter and social media, but also an announcement, a typed announcement, is put on public display at the gates of Buckingham Palace. So it's been done today with the very sad news of the Queen's death, as it is done to mark any major royal announcement.
Andrew, we expect the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, to make an announcement at number 10 Downing Street. This is quite unfortunate, I may say, for the new Prime Minister. She was just appointed a few days back. We saw her, greeting the Queen. What does this mean for her now?
Well, that's right. Just on Tuesday, so 2 days ago, Liz Truss went to Balmoral in the north of Scotland, met the Queen, and that was required for her to start her prime ministership. She had to kiss hands with the Queen. There's no actual kissing of hands, but that's what the small ceremony is called. And we saw photographs, there were no video, but we saw photographs of the Queen shaking hands with Liz Truss, the new Prime Minister. And although she was using a walking stick, she seemed animated and, as far as you can judge, in good health. So Liz Truss has been Prime Minister for 48 hours, and she faces what is a moment of grave national solemnity. I wouldn't say crisis, because there's no sort of sense of discontinuity. We know what will happen now, but it is a time when she will need to reflect the grief of the nation. And that is quite difficult to do for anybody. But if you've only been in the job for a couple of days, that is quite an ordeal and a responsibility too.
Andrew, let me ask you this. The now new King, Charles, has been waiting to take over the throne or to inherit her mother. What do you think, what do you foresee happening now, going forward?
Well, you're right, he has been waiting for a very long time. He's already well into his 70s. I mean, it's perhaps inappropriate to speculate too much when we've only known for a few minutes that his mother, the Queen, is dead. But I think he will find it difficult to be quite such a unifying figure as his mother. The Queen enjoyed a huge amount of respect, not just in Britain, but globally. I had the good fortune to meet her on a couple of occasions. She's a woman of great humility and charm. And all her life, people have been paying deference to her, but that hasn't really spoiled her. Charles is a slightly more controversial figure, partly because of his personal life, and he has in the past clearly tried to influence some aspects of governance because of his interest in the environment, for example, and in organic farming. And I think that is something that he will have to put aside if he wants to be the unifying national figure that his Queen has been. And of course, he has also responsibilities to the Commonwealth. There are about 14 other nations around the world for whom the Queen has been the head of state. And it will be interesting to see if all of them wish a new monarch also to remain their head of state.
Well, Andrew, stay with me because I want us to talk more about this, and messages of condolences are streaming in from world leaders across the world following this news, following the passing of the Queen.